Well, there was a little news blip which appeared around midnight last night on Google News, being promoted by basically Fox News and the New York Times and the Washington Post, which was mentioning an article, which is actually an old article. It was published in Europe 2 weeks ago as being some sort of a sensational news story, which evidently didn't take too well so far. This was about the nuclear network of a person named Dr. Khan, who is a Pakistani nuclear scientist who has built quite an extensive network of illegal nuclear activities around the world. And the story that was being pushed this morning, slightly right after midnight, was that this is sensational news, since on this network, this illegal network, some things have been discovered in computers that point towards advanced plans for developing a very sophisticated nuclear weapon, which then in turn, these articles point out, have probably already been transferred to Iran. So, this little news blip was, of course, intended for public consumption. So far, it hasn't taken over the mainstream news yet, but you can rest assured that it will come up again sometime later, as President Bush has just returned, or is returning, from his trip from Europe, while lunching and dining with Sarkozy in France, who is very much on board with Bush and the neocons. And so any kind of public propaganda out there regarding the IAEA, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency, and their findings, is now being trumped up to be sensational news, when in fact all of the stuff was discovered in 2005, and it's no longer, big news. The article mentioned that some documents, actually 30,000 documents, were shredded by the Swiss government, because these documents were discovered on a computer by a person who was linked to Dr. Khan in Pakistan and his illegal nuclear network. And this particular computer, I guess, belonged to one called Urs Tiller, in a Swiss citizen, but very much connected to the Pakistani illegal network in terms of peddling nuclear technology and arms. And so now it's all being portrayed as if this is completely new to anyone out there. The IAEA has been following these stories for many, many years. They're on top of it, and Scott Ritter mentioned it years ago in his book, and there's nothing that new about it. What is new is that this story is now being pushed onto the American public, when in fact this Tiller person in Switzerland and his computers, well, it turns out that this guy was actually a double agent and worked for the CIA. So the same kinds of stories are being put out there. It's a replay of the run-up to the Iraq War, and so people should be careful when they read these stories, these upcoming stories in the news. There have been some rumors that Bush is absolutely hell-bent on pushing his agenda through in the Middle East, namely to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons before he leaves office. So this was what this European trip was also all about, and the rumor is that he is going to present us with a fait accompli, namely a very aggressive posture towards Iran, and possibly attacking that country before he leaves office. Now, as I say, these are just rumors. It may not come about, and I hope to God they don't, because this is going to spell not only disaster for the entire Middle East, but also for us. So watch out for these stories, do your research, and do your own videos in order to discredit this massive propaganda which is about to take over our 24-hour news cycles yet again, aside from the election hoopla intermixed with it. Thanks for staying vigilant and for putting up with my videos. I just want everyone to think and to research and form their own opinions based on various sources. And our national media is completely discredited at this point. So please look towards other sources, not just here on YouTube and by ordinary citizens like me, but look up other credible international sources, and stay vigilant and turn off your TV. Good night.